Okay, sorry guys, I don't know why it took me a very long time to get connected to the video. It was not working, but if you guys are ready to do some yoga, I'm here with you. I'm very, very sorry about that. I don't know what happened. But I'll still do a 1 hour class. If you guys are in, let's get started. Come standing at the top of your mat. And start to breathe and put your hand alongside your body. Try to reach your hands toward the floor. And I'm gonna try to let me know if you can hear me or if you cannot hear me. I'm very, very sorry. It's not as smooth as usual. I'm not used to those technological things. Okay, let's get started. So really push your feet into the ground. Try to feel the ball of your feet. Maybe you can lift your toes. And if you lift your toes, that's gonna help to engage your quadriceps. And just try to feel your leg. And put your toes back to the mat. Try to press into the four corners of your feet equally. And also notice if you're leaning toward the left side or the right side. And shrug your shoulders, relax your jaw, reach the crown of your head towards the sky, like someone is pulling your hair up. Engage your belly. Try to start to engage your arms without pulling them too hard. Point them towards the floor. On the next inhale, you're going to bring your arms overhead. Maybe you can open your eyes if they were closed. Take a big inhale from here. And we're going to take a side bend. So you're going to grab your left wrist with your right hand and go high and take that bend on the side of your back. Try to keep your shoulder close onto your back. Inhale, go back to center, reach up, up, up. Exhale, you're going to take the stretch from the other side. Maybe you look down, under your arm. Try to square your hips to the front of the mat. Inhale, go back to the center. Exhale, go all the way down to the floor. Grab your elbows in opposite with your opposite hands and take ragdoll. So we here take a stretch into your lower back. Relax your head. Bend your knees if you need to. Don't hurt yourself. It's still early in the class. And link your movement to your breath. Maybe you sway from one side to another. Maybe you stay still. Change your grip. And make sure that you are going equally on both sides. Release your hand to the mat. Take a flat back. Inhale, look forward. Lengthening your neck, lengthening your ears toward the front wall. From here, plant your hand, keep your flat back, and step your left foot long and back to the back of the mat. Try to square your hips to the front of the mat. Engage your belly and press into your front heel toward your back toe. Plant your hands and send both feet to the back of the mat. And it's as we were just standing onto our feet, we're just pressing the mat away. We're sending our shoulder blades toward the sky, and we're stepping into that imaginary wall which is behind us. Our neck is neutral, and our core is supporting our lower back. So you really want to here engage everything you have to make sure that you're actually supporting your body to not fall into gravity. Last 5 breaths. Extend everything you can. And from here, it was very quick 5 breaths. We're going to bend our elbows toward our ribs. but we're going to stay here for a little bit. And we're also going to over our knees over the mat. And we're going to press into our arm and trying to keep our elbows in to go towards the ball of your feet. And you are in that like half down dog with bended knees. And your knees are still hovering over the mat, and you're on the ball of your feet. You really pressing all the finger pads you have. And very, very slowly, you're going to extend your leg to eventually have them kind of straight. And they don't need to be fully stretched. It's okay if your heels are not touching the mat. You lengthen your heels toward the back wall rather than toward the mat. You're pressing your hands into the mat. So you don't put them away. You're really pressing the floor down. Last breath. On your next inhale, you're going to lift your right heel toward the sky. Your leg is super, super straight. Your belly is engaged. And try to keep your shoulder square to the front of the mat, even if you have a leg lifted. On your next exhale, you're going to bring your knee to your chest. Bend that knee, trying to bring it as high as possible and make some room to step it to the front of the mat. Exhale, empty your left foot, your left knee to the mat and re-square your hips. Take a big inhale, lift your arm overhead and take that stretch into our hip flexor. So really that knee is bending. Pay attention that the knee is not going over your ankle. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, take that same side bend that we were taking. So right head is grabbing your left and you're bending over the right side of your body. So toward your bended leg. Inhale, go back to center. Exhale, plant your left hand to the mat and open your chest. So take a simple twist. So you're opening your chest toward your bended knee. And try to parallel your arm. I mean, make a big tip of your arm. Press, tuck your toes under, your back toe, your left toe under, and lift the back of your thigh toward the sky. So engage that leg. It's really, really strong and straight. From here, you're going to move a little your right foot to the middle of the mat. And you're going to lower your hips towards your mat. So that's giving a stretch into the side of the thighs on the left and on the right side. Inhale, take a big, big circle with your right hand, both hands to the mat. Re-put your right foot where it was. It's not always super grateful, but that's totally fine. And make sure that your spine is very, very long. Your belly is in. On your next exhale, you're going to extend both of your legs and go to pyramid pose. Long pyramid. So your back heel is lifted. That's going to give you some room to have your hips at the right place. So if your heel is lower, you're going to be stuck here because you're not going to be able to have that much mobility into your hips. So don't hesitate to leave your heel to just go a little lower. Inhale, rebend your front knee. Open your chest, maybe using your block to have your chest a little higher. Exhale, press your hand to the mat. Extend both of your legs, relax your head. Inhale, go forward, bend your front knee. Open your chest, belly in. Exhale, extend both of your legs, back to is lifted. Last one. Inhale, open. Bend into your front knee, take the stretch into your hip flexor, send the back of your leg, the back of your back leg toward the sky. Exhale, re-extend both of your legs, and maybe use this time go a little further. Inhale, look forward and bring both mat to the front of the mat. Exhale, bow forward, empty your hand to the mat. Inhale, flat back, extend your neck and your heels. Exhale, bow. Inhale, With the flat back, bring your arms overhead all the way up. Exhale, arm by the side. Inhale, go back up. Exhale, bow forward, lift your belly, lift your quadriceps. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands and step to the back of the mat. And we are back to that plank position we were having at the very beginning of the class. This time we're going to bend our knees first. So we're going to over our knees and be in those like little bear type of crawl. And we're going to bring our knees closer to our forearms. And so we are in that bear crawl position. And you're really here using the strength of your arm to carry yourself up and not fall toward the mat. Your core is crazy engaged. And we're going to tap our right knee to our right forearm or right elbow. Bring it back down. Left knee, left elbow. Bring it back down. And we're going to switch a little bit to warm up our entire body. And actually the core is because you really warming up the middle of your body, so that's helping to warm up the entire body. Sorry. Last 5, 4, right knee, right elbow, 3, 2, and 1. Re-extend your leg long and back. Press your hips back to the sky, downward facing dog. Maybe here you want to pedaling out your feet. You're starting to feel the heat coming very slowly into your body. Take a big inhale. Big exhale, press your hands and the ball of your feet to the mat while bringing your hips towards the sky. On your next inhale, you're going to lift your left leg towards the sky. Try to not lift your right heel at the same time, and you still continue to press your hand firmly into the mat. Exhale, bring your left knee towards the front of the room. Make some room, press the floor away to actually step that left foot in between your thumb. Empty your right knee to the mat and extend your spine toward the front of the room. Crown of the head, ears toward the front room. Maybe you're taking your block back, even though we're not going to use them straight away. On your next inhale, you're bringing both of your arms overhead. Stretch your hip, your right hip flexor, and grab with your left hand, your right hand, side bend towards the left side of the room. Continue to bend into that front knee and press into your front heel, so you are sure that your left leg is at the right position. Inhale, go back to center. Exhale, place your right hand to the mat and open your chest towards your left leg to take a simple twist. On your right side, you really need to have a straight line with your right arm. So you want your shoulder above your elbow, above your wrist. And it's all of that needs to be following your left arm. So your arms are open and make a T type of position. On your next inhale, you want to tuck your toe under. Exhale, lift your back thigh towards the sky. Press into that back side while you're also pressing into your front heel to make your hips as square as possible. Exhale, close your chest, both hands to the mat. And this time you're going to land into your blocks. So again, we're making sure that our front knee is above our front ankle. Inhale, open your chest, dig a little bit your hips toward the sky. Get taller. Exhale, extend both of your legs to go to that wide pyramid pose. And as you can tell, my left side is a bit tighter, so I bring my block a little higher. There is nothing wrong about that.
We're just working with the body we have, no judgment. Try to not overextend that front knee so you can put a little bend into it. Inhale, rebend your front knee, open your chest, get proud, take this flex, the stretch into your hip flexor. Exhale, press both hands to the mat and extend both of your legs. Beyond the ball of your back foot while you're pressing into the big mountain of your left toe. Inhale, rebend, open your chest. Exhale, extend both of your legs. And maybe you bow a little bit further. Try to keep your hips square to the mat. Inhale, rebend, open your chest. And this time we're gonna plant both of your hands to the mat. And we didn't do the little thing, but you're gonna step your left foot in the middle of the mat to dip your hips toward the floor and open your chest also toward the side of the mat. Press into the back edge of your back foot so that's really stretching both sides of both of your thighs. Inhale, re-square your chest. Bring that left foot where it was. Inhale, look forward, engage your belly. Exhale, step your right foot to meet your left foot. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow. Inhale, all the way up, arms up overhead, press your feet into the mat. Exhale, arm by your side. Right, we're going to continue with one regular sun A, 2 sun Bs, and then we're going to flow a little bit. I hope everybody's enjoying. Again, the start was a bit chaotic, so I'm very, very sorry about that. Here is my face. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, bow forward, lift your belly, lift your quadriceps. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands. Step to the back of the mat. Exhale, bend your elbows halfway towards your ribs. So you don't want to extend your elbows to the side. You really want to have them supporting your back. Flip your feet one after another or roll them to press your arms straight, your thigh, and your hips are very much lifted away from the floor. You're opening your chest toward the front wall and reaching your ears toward the sky. Exhale, use your belly to bring your hips back to the sky, downward facing dog. Big inhale and big exhale. Down dog is not a resting pose, but it's a place that we know. We're always coming back to down dog. So practice the thing you know. Try to carry your breath out and use that comfortable place to recover, even if it's not comfortable. As a position, it's comfortable because you know it. You know how to deal with it, basically. Inhale, look forward. And if you took the class earlier last week, we practiced this little bunny hops. So either you're taking small hops, or you're taking bigger hops. And maybe you want to practice bringing your hips over your shoulder, nothing crazy, but you try to get there. Like maybe you want to bring a little bit of impulse into your jump. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, bring your arms overhead, press your feet into the mat. Exhale, arm by the side, extend your crown of your head towards the ceiling. Inhale, bring your arms back up. Exhale, Utkatasana, bend your knees and send your hips to that imaginary chair behind you. Your toes are very light. You can see them if you pick up at the feet right now. But you're opening your chest towards, your sternum towards the sky. Your arms are as straight as possible. And you sit a little lower, the belly is engaged. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands and step to the back of the mat. Exhale, bend your elbows halfway, chaturanga. Flip your feet, upward the torso and your arm, upward facing dog. Bring your hips back to the sky, downward facing dog. Big inhale. On your exhale, you're going to bring your right foot toward the front of the mat. Inhale, high lunge. You're reaching your arms and your fingertips towards the sky while you're bending into your front knee. Exhale, bring both hands to the mat. Send your right foot to the back of the room. Bend your elbows halfway, chaturanga. Flip both of your feet. Upward facing dog. Use your belly to bring your hips back to the sky. Downward facing dog. Take a big inhale. On the next exhale, step your left foot towards the front of the room. Inhale, high lunge. Front knee over your front ankle, and you're on the ball of your back feet. Go lower while you're pressing your arms back to the sky. On the next exhale, empty your hands to the mat. Step your left foot to go to the back of the room. Bend your elbows halfway, chaturanga. Flip your feet upward the torso, upward facing dog. Use your belly to bring your hips back to the sky, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. So that's all about that, right? It's all about the balance between the places we know and the places we want to explore. And it's not about being comfortable. It's about knowing how you can behave because you know what you're gonna get. So use your places, those places to actually gather your strengths for later on when you don't know what's gonna happen. And because you already anticipate and you already know how you behave when you're on those known places, it's easier for you to anticipate, or not anticipate, but just go through the unknown places. Inhale, look forward, bend your knees, and step, jump, lift to the front of the room. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms all the way up, press into your feet. Exhale, arm by your side. And I forgot the chair pose, so you are lucky. But we'll go for a second round. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, bend your knees and sit your butt into that chair pose. Maybe you want to go lower. And we're going to bring our arms behind us in kind of like airplane arms. And you can either bring the palms like facing one another to your back, or maybe you want to give a high five to your mat and engage your quadriceps. Maybe you lift your toes a little bit. You lift your heels a little bit, so that's helping to engage your thigh. Pull your knees toward one another to engage your legs. Exhale, empty your heels and your hands toward the mat. Relax your head. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hand with your flat back. Step to the back of the room. Exhale, bend your elbows halfway, chaturanga. Flip your feet upward your torso. And bring your hips back to the sky, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, step your right foot to the front of the room. Inhale, arms overhead. Lift your back ribs toward the ceiling while you bend into your front knee. You are pressing into your right heel toward the back toes. Exhale, empty your hands to the mat, both feet to the back of the room, bend your elbows halfway. Flip your feet upward the torso. Upward facing dog. Hips to the sky, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Big inhale. On your next exhale, step your left foot to the front of the room and upward the torso, high lunge. Go low and press left heel, back foot, and lift your ribs away from your lower back. But go low, don't lose the bend into your front knee. Exhale, both hands to the mat. Step your left foot to the back of the room, bend your elbows halfway. Flip your feet apart the torso. Use your hips, use your belly to bring your hips back to the sky. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Practice the thing you know. And don't anticipate what's coming. Use your breath to calm your heart and your brain. Inhale, look forward, bend your knees, and step, or jump to the front of the room. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale all the way up, press your feet to lift your hands overhead. Exhale, arm by your side. And again, chair pose, forget. That's totally fine. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Put your heels toward the front wall. Plant your hands and step to the back of the room. Exhale, halfway, bend your elbow, halfway chaturanga. Press into your feet to approach your torso. And your thighs are really much engaged and your hips are away from the floor. Use your belly to bring them to the sky. Downward facing dog. On your next inhale, you're going to bring your right foot toward the sky and you're going to tent the finger of your left hand. And maybe you're going to lift that left hand. And the key here is to keep your right hand really pressing into the mat. And maybe we're going to try to come to two things on the floor type of plank. And the key here is to use your gaze to look further to your mat. Your flying leg is engaged, you're reaching high with your left hand. Okay, left hand to the mat. Bring your right knee to your chest and step your right foot to the front of the room. We're going to go back to that high lunge we were having before, but this time we're going to interlace our hands behind our back to open our chest toward the front of the room. And you go high, and once you cannot go higher, eventually you're on the back bend a little bit, but it's not the purpose of it's not the final state, right? So you want to go up before going back. Exhale, bow forward, maybe you keep your interlace. And you want to bring your knuckles toward the ceiling while you relax your head and maybe you look at your back while you modify umbrella warrior. You're going to take a big inhale and look at the top of your mat while you're going to press into your front feet to lift your left leg, and we are in that modified warrior 3 position. So you're really having both of your legs engaged like crazy. You're looking a little bit of the top of your mat so your neck is neutral. Reaching your heels toward the front wall. And here you're going to either keep your hands like that. You can bring your hands to your heart center, or you can bring them into both of your blocks. Up to you. You're choosing where you want the challenge. I'm going to go back to the bind. And we're going to bend into our standing leg. We're going to bring both knees to touch and try to not round your back here. And you're pressing into your right leg to bring it straight, and you're sending your left heel toward the back of the room. Inhale, bend into your right leg. Exhale, both knees together. Re-extend your right, re-extend your left. Last one. Bend into your right leg. Bring both knees together to touch. Try to keep your spine long. You go maybe a little lower. This is the last one. Re-extend your right leg. Re-extend your left leg. Bring this time your hands to your chest and upward your torso. Both hands to the mat. We're going to take a big inhale, and on our exhale, bring your right knee to your chest and arm overhead. We're gonna, with our right hands, bring our right knee closer to our chest. We can try to grab the big toe and extend your leg. Maybe you have a belt, and you can also extend your leg with a belt. It's totally fine. Maybe you have a towel, which is also helping you to just have your leg extended. And you're placing, if you have the belt, you're placing it to the ball of your feet. Engage your belly, reach high with your left hand. Let the belt go. If you're having the big toe like that, just let it go as well and bring both hands to the sky. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rebend your knee and bring your right feet into the inside of your left side for tree pose. So we are here. So either there is some wind in the tree, sorry about that. So either you are here, you can also go lower. The only thing I would like you to avoid is your knee area. So I don't want you to be in here because it can be very dangerous for you. So you either go high or you go totally lower, and that's super fine. Reach high, high, high with both of your hands. Maybe you look a little bit further up to challenge your balance. Press into your standing leg, and you really using the pressure of both your leg standing and your feet to square your hips. Bring your knees back to your chest. Very slowly, try to not slingshot it. And we're gonna send that flying leg to the back of the room, and we're gonna land into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. So your left hand is on something, the floor or whatever, and your right hand is flying towards the sky. And the same as before, both of our legs are super engaged. And maybe you're going to try to bend that flying leg towards your head, sorry. Don't do anything with your hands for now. We're just bending that flying leg. We extend it. The feet is flexed, it's helping to engage your leg, belly in, and then very softly into goddess pose. We were here last week, so we're just having toes out, ears in, and we're getting low with our butts. Try to not stick your butt out, so maybe you're really trying to put your tailbone towards the floor. While you're reaching your torso up, go a little lower for the last 3. Don't forget to breathe too. And 1. Extend leg and arm, star pose. Everything is fine. Gather your breath. And you're going to pivot your left foot toward the front of the room and bend into your left leg to land into warrior 2. Maybe you want to re-extend your stand and you bend into your front knee. Bringing your right shoulder a little bit back so you're not twisting or you're not surfing. You really want to press everything away from one another. Exhale, extend your front knee. Maybe you want to shorten your stand to have the length of one of your own leg in between your feet. And you're going to look into your back hand while you're pressing that right hip toward the back of the room and empty your torso toward your front leg to take Trikonasana, triangle pose. And here it's exactly the same as half moon or warrior 2. We want our chest facing the side wall while our legs are going toward the front wall. So that side, the left side, is turning externally. So we are making sure that everything is aligned. You can put a block, maybe outside of your front feet. That's helping to keep your chest open. And if I would stand behind you, you would be able to lean on me. So you really want to keep that chest as open as possible. Exhale, rebend your front knee, bring your right hand to the mat, left hand to the mat. Step back. Plank pose. Bend your elbows halfway chaturanga. Flip your feet upward, your torso, upward facing dog. Bring your hips back to the sky, downward facing dog. Big inhale and big exhale. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. You're going to bring your left heels towards the sky. And we're going to tend the fingertips of our right hand. And maybe we're going to lift that right hand. And it's all about the shoulder. So as I was saying at the very beginning of the class, we want to press that hand into the mat. It's not like it's going further forward, it's going down, like really pressing into the floor. So from here, we have 2 things on the floor. Maybe not, maybe we're already on the ground and that's totally fine. We're going to look forward as far as we can, and we're going to keep both of those things flying as straight as possible. That's going to help us to just go a little further. Right hand to the mat, left knee to the chest, step your left heel in between your thumb. Exactly, sorry about that. On your next inhale, bring your arms overhead, high lunge, bend into your front knee while you are on the ball of your back foot, and interlace your finger behind your back to open your chest toward the sky. Sorry. Maybe you look at the sky as well, and you go up, 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 as much as you're trying to press your knuckles toward the floor. Exhale, bow forward, and empty your chest toward your front thigh. Maybe you're bringing your knuckles toward the sky, and relax your head. Modify warrior 1, or under warrior. On your next inhale, you're going to look forward, and you're going to fly that right leg toward the sky. So we're going to redo that little thing I was saying before, but both sides are different, right? I was saying at the beginning of the class, the left side, my body is a bit tighter. So you're just trying to find the place that is suiting that side, and not because you had it in the other side. So it's up to you, you decide, and you can also change your mind. I'm going to try to go back to that bind. I'm going to bend my left knee, bring my right knee to meet my left knee, and try to extend your spine. We extend left leg, we extend right leg. Bend into the left, bend into the right, knees together, we extend. Last one, bend as deep as you can, both knees together. Try to send the lumbar area towards the sky to keep your spine as long as possible. Re-extend your right leg. Bring your hands to your heart center, they're not already there. And apply the torso to go to mountain pose, Tadasana. Reach your heels towards the sky, your chin is parallel to the floor. Bring your arms overhead, take a big inhale, and on your exhale, you're going to bring your left foot into the tree position. So again, maybe it's the calf area, maybe it's a bit higher and you're helping it with your hands. I just don't want you to be on the knee. And you're reaching with your fingertips as much as you pressing your right feet into the ground. Bring your knee to your chest, don't slingshot it, and extend your leg towards the front wall, because I didn't forget that we were doing that. And this time you can do like a pendulum type of thing. So you're going to stand your left leg towards the back of the wall while you're emptying your right hand to the mat to take half moon pose. Try to notice if your right foot is doing a weird shape. It really needs to be parallel to both sides of the long side of the mat. And that flying leg is super engaged and is going into the hip socket of the left hip. Try to not overextend your standing leg, so maybe you put a little bend into that knee and you open your chest to the side wall. And you just expand, just get big. Press your head, press your hands, every direction you can. Bend into your front leg to land lightly in goddess pose. And we're going to empty both of our hands on top of our knees. Big inhale, open your chest. Exhale, dip your right shoulder into the middle of your stand. Inhale, go back to center, go a little lower. Exhale, press your left knee away while you're dipping your shoulder towards the middle of your stand. Inhale, go back to center, go a little lower, maybe you bring your arms overhead. Exhale, re-extend everything, take a big stretch, take some room. And you're going to pivot your right foot to be, again, parallel to the long side of your mat. Arms side to side, and bend into your front knee to take warrior two. Front heel, back arch alignment into your feet. So you can check, you can look at it, that's totally fine. Try to even out the weight in between both of your feet and bend into that front knee. If I would be in the room with you and I would like just pull your knee forward, I should not be able to have any room. And your front chin is perpendicular to the floor. You're bringing your fingertips away from each other. Crown of the head towards the sky. Your shoulder above your hips, your belly is in. And you're pressing into the back edge of your back toe. Re-extend your front leg. Maybe you're shortening your stand a little bit to have the length of one of your own leg in between both of your feet. And that back leg is like Tadasana. So even if we're doing something with our torso, that back leg is just neutral. So if I would go back to Tadasana, it would be the same leg. So we want to keep that hip as neutral as possible while we are just linking our torso toward the front wall. And that's going to help us to just get the stretch into our hips and into our front leg, sorry. So same alignment with the Theta Warrior to accept that that leg is straight. And as I was just saying, we keep that here into our body while we're emptying and trying to lengthen as much as we can the side of our torso. So that's, we don't want to arch here, we just want to be straight. And to do that, it's really just keeping our spine long and straight, aligned with our neck. And if we can't go lower than that, it's totally fine. That's why we have blocks. So we want to have something on our bottom hands, so that's helping to open our chest a little bit more. But that's very fine. And eventually, maybe, you're going to find the place, the room into your hip to go a little lower. And then you're going to keep both sides of your torso as open as possible. Belly in, open your chest. And if your neck is open, you can maybe look with your right eye to your left one. And if it's hurting your neck, just look to the side wall. Rebend into your front knee. Empty both hands to the mat. Step back to plank. Bend your elbows halfway chaturanga. Lift your feet, upward facing dog. Bring your hips back to the sky. Downward facing dog. So we're going to take that very quick, just so you have a little bit of heat going on, because we were not able to do I was a bit disturbed by the internet situation, so I'm very, very sorry about that, guys, again. But so we're going to just flow sometimes through that very quick. You know the cues, do what you can. And then we're gonna end up with a little crow and we're gonna rest. So inhale, lift your right hand, the right heel towards the sky. Exhale, right knee to your chest. Inhale, step your foot in between your hands and upright your torso, high lunge. Bring both hands to the back of your back and extend your chest towards the front wall and go higher and higher to eventually go into a little back bend and open your chest towards the sky. Maybe your head is following and you don't lose the bend into your front knee. Exhale, bow forward, bring your shoulder to your knee in that modified humble warrior. Your head is relaxed and your belly is in. Look a little bit further, maybe you keep your bind, maybe you bring your hands to your heart center and you're lifting your flying leg to go to that modified binded warrior three. So your feet is flexed, you're really stepping into that back wall and your standing leg is also super engaged, belly engaged. Bend into your right knee. Bring your left knee to meet your right knee. Re-extend your right, re-extend your left. Bend a little lower maybe. Don't lose your knuckles toward the sky. Bring your left knee to meet your right knee. And bring your lower back toward the sky. Keep your spine long. Re-extend your left leg. Last one. Bend as deep as you can. The last one of the day. Bring both knees together. Re-extend. Re-extend. Bring your hands to your heart center. Try to not rush out of the pose. Try to have the shoulder on your back and upward your torso. Land your left foot close to your right foot. Bring your knee to your chest, right knee to your chest, and bring your arms overhead. Extend your right leg to the front of the room as high, as straight as you can, while you're not trying to not lean forward. So you're just going toward the front wall. And step your feet, your right foot into inside of your left leg to take tree pose. Helping your hips to open side to side. Press in both of your legs. So the contact of your left foot, or your right foot, into your left leg. Press those two things together. Belly in and reach high with your hands. Unlock your foot and bring that right knee back to your chest. Try to keep it lifted while you empty your torso towards the floor and your left hand towards the mat. Your right leg is super engaged and your feet is flexed like you want to step into the back wall. While you're opening your chest open towards the side to take Ardha Chandrasana half knee pose. Use the pressure of your left hand to open your chest a little bit more to the side. Bend into your left leg to step long and back, goddess pose. Maybe here you sway side to side. Maybe you want to take a little bit of a challenge, lifting one heel or both of your heels, and you go a little lower, tailbone toward the floor. Extend everything you have, hands and legs, very big and tall. Pivot the toes of your left feet toward the front of the mat and bend into that front knee while you're extending your arms side to side, warrior two. Chest open, arm long, crown of the head towards the sky. We extend that left leg and empty your torso a little lower towards your front. Leg to take triangle pose, Trikonasana. Your spine is straight and long. That hip is staying neutral while you're lengthening your torso parallel to your mat. Belly in, we bend into your front leg to empty.
your right hand towards the mat. We're going to pivot this time and we're going to take side plank, on your right arm. If it's too hard, you can put your right knee to the mat and open your chest as we keep on opening our chests since the beginning of the class. If you are in side plank and you want to take waltzing, you're going to step your left feet behind you to continue to open that chest and show that sensitivity to the sky. Just for the sake of taking it properly, we're going to go back to side plank. Close your chest to your mat. Plank pose. Bend your elbows high for chaturanga. Flip your feet upward your torso. And bring your hips back to the sky, downward facing dog. All right, last side. Lift your left leg towards the sky. Knee to your chest. Step your left foot towards the mat. And on an inhale, bring your arms overhead. Interlace your finger behind your back. Upward your torso and open your chest towards the sky. To then on your next exhale, bow forward to take humble variation, humble warrior. Look a little bit at the front of the mat when you're going to lift your right leg, flying. Flex your flying leg, your flying feet, and engage your left quadriceps. Send your knuckles toward the back of the room. Bend into your left knee, bend into your right knee. Use your breath and your belly to support and straighten your left and your right. Bend, belly in, breath in, both knees together. Send your lower back toward the sky, flying leg toward the back wall. Last one, bend into your left, bend into your right, extend, extend. Bring your hands to your heart center and stand up. Arms overhead, big inhale, exhale, bring your left knee to your chest, extend your leg as straight, as high as possible. Try to not lean forward backwards, so chest is proud towards the front wall, almost towards the sky. You're going to bring that flying leg to your back this time, and open your chest to the side wall to take half moon. Press into both of your heels, wherever the direction they are. Crown of the head toward the front wall. Open your chest. Belly in. Extend. Bend into your standing leg, right leg, to land softly into goddess pose. Last one of the day. Maybe you do something that you didn't do before. Maybe you just go into a place you know. Maybe you alternate the lifted of the heels. Maybe you just go low with your butt while you're going high with your sternum. Extend everything you have. Maybe you sway a little bit. Parallel your front feet to the long side of your mat while you opening your arms and bending your front leg. Re-extend that front leg to then just go lower with your torso and take that triangle position. Try to not overextend that front leg. It's very easy for very flexible people. Rebend into that front knee and land into your left hand. While we're going to go on the razor edge of your left foot and bring our right foot to the top of our left foot to take side plank. Open your chest once more, and then you're going to like have the pinnacle of the heart extension by stepping your right foot to your back and take waltzing
Open your heart to the sky. Bring your right hand toward the sky, the right feet on top of your left. Close your chest to the mat. Bend your elbows halfway, chaturanga. Flip your feet upward facing dog. Bring your hips back to the sky, downward facing dog. Walk your hands to the back of the mat. For the people who want, we're going to take a little crawl. Very, very, very quick. So you can walk to the front of your room. For the people who don't want to do crawl or are not in the mood to go quickly through it, you can just take a little ball position. So I'm going to show you both. So for crawl, we're going to put our butt as low as possible, and we're going to try to sneak our knees into our armpits. So it can look a little bit not very gracious, but you can just like go as small as possible. And for people who don't want to work on crawl, you can stay here. Maybe you can close your chest, and maybe you can even grab your heels and just go lower and look at your toes. So you're relaxing your neck. You can stay here. Or if you want to take the arm balance, you're going to again sneak your armpits into your knees into your armpits. You're going to really have your big toes sticking to one another. It's going to help to engage your belly. And you're going to lift your heels and try to go forward. So again, I'll say that a few times today, but our gaze is just guiding where we're going. So if you look down, you're going to go down. If you look further, you're going to go straight. So you want to keep everything here, and we're just going to try to go and take off. So either you're taking one leg, maybe you're taking one leg and then after another one, and eventually try to keep those knees as high as possible, and eventually both feet are going to go higher. And you're pressing the floor away. Try to keep your neck long, belly engaged. Just put your feet down, extend your legs. Take a flat back, exhale, bow forward. And very, very slowly, put your butt to your mat and take a seated posture. Extend both of your legs to the front of the mat. We're going to take a little hip flexor and then rest for a little bit. So there is several options for the hip flexor stretch. We did a few of them today, but so either you have the traditional yoga one, which is pigeon pose. So you have your front, like let's say the right leg is parallel. It's not going to land parallel, but you're starting parallel like that. So both things are parallel to one another. You can stay here and just having that kind of like Z shape into your leg and try to square your chest to the front of the room. It's totally fine. Otherwise, you can stand by the left. You can send that left leg to the back of the room and see naturally my front chin is not parallel anymore. But that's okay. It's not about the front chin. It's about our hip. So we don't, that's, I mean, except for people who are very, very, very flexible, it's never really parallel there. And you really just want to have that right hip heavy, and that left leg is really aligned with your hip socket. And you can stay here, or you can lower your torso to the front, to the mat, sorry, and extend your arm further to the front of the room. Your left feet is pressing on the top of the mat, and your right heel is heavy. Your hips is heavy. Try to not do anything weird with your face. Relax your tongue. Nice to breath.
Bring your torso back up and switch side, however you want to do that. So either you're taking exactly the same pigeon pose on the other side, and maybe you want to go through down dog, so you can just re-extend also your leg and bring that left chin toward the front wall. If the left side or the right side actually is tighter, you can also just take figure four, which I'm gonna go for on my left side. So you can bring your left ankle on top of your right knee and try to just bring that right feet onto the floor. So that's traditional hip flexor. If you are there, try to keep your chest as high as possible. You can put your hands behind you, but I don't want you to be like standing at the beach. I want to stay very engaged and just having your chest as high as possible. Re-extend both of your legs to the front of the room. We're gonna take a little back bend. And then we're gonna get over. So in your back bend, if you have one favorite back bend that you are used to take, please help yourself. You can also take the bridge pose that we used to take as well here. So make sure that your knees are over your ankle and you're lifting your hips to the sky. And if you want to start your Shavasana because you need to go, or if you don't have time to take Shavasana, don't blame yourself. It's totally fine. You worked already very hard. But otherwise, we can take the block, the towel that you get, or whatever is helping you to support your body. And we're going to put that in the middle of our back where the strap of our bras are. And you're just going to lean onto that block. It's not supposed to be painful. So if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. And you just, because we did a lot of heart opening today, we can just continue our practice and be able to show that sensitivity, that vulnerability to the sky, to ourselves. Maybe you extend your legs, maybe you keeping them bent with the sole of your feet together as you continue to open your hips. Take a big inhale. Exhale, close your eyes. Shavasana. Stay as long as you want here. If you need to go ahead with your day, bring your knees back together. Maybe you extend your arm over your head. It feels good with the block. And roll out of the block on one side. Just be gentle with your back. Eventually meet in a seated posture. Maybe you keep your eyes closed. So we work hard despite the technical issues. And that's how you practicing self-centering and
try to move forward despite the uncomfort of the situation. So I hope you enjoyed. I thank you for your time. Bring your eyes, bring your thumb to your third eye center, and we bow to each other. Namaste. Thanks for your time, guys.
I'll see you this week.